I honestly thought, with hindsight and before Mum got ill, I honestly thought that Mountbatten support stopped when somebody died. I thought that, that was what a hospice was for. Now I know that there's so much more to it than that. That yes, they help me, they help the boys.
At the start it was like, we didn't talk about like anything like sad or anything. We just like basically played with fidgets and did some creative stuff like Play-Doh and painting.
5 years ago I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and it had spread to other parts of my body, and after my chemotherapy I really needed to get some movement back in my body because I'd completely lost the strength in my legs particularly. So I tried to get some physiotherapy at the General Hospital, but they were unable to help, so they suggested that I could do some work here.
I started visiting Deb's, well before Mum died, and that carried on, for quite a long time.
So we normally did like talking first, and then we went on to making stuff and painting.
Instead of like just talking about, oh, so who did you lose, and why and stuff like that, it was much easier just to play, and it helped to not always have my mind on her.
Build and Banter started, I think about 3 years ago, and we started in small groups, but it's men with similar conditions, mostly suffering from cancer-related illnesses, and we just go through a series of small Lego kits because we tend to talk about our illnesses and our conditions as you wouldn't necessarily talk in a group with females present sometimes, because you just feel as a you don't want to talk about your illness. So yeah, the Build and Banter has been fantastic to me. When we got married, we didn't want presents, and we thought upon the idea of actually having people donate money through the Mountbatten Hospice, and we politely asked people if they wanted to leave a gift. We had some of the charity envelopes spread around throughout the wedding venue, and it was fabulous how people responded to that, and we managed to get quite a large donation. Over the years I've begun to understand exactly what you do for patients and for their relatives as well. It's not just the patients that come in for treatment. Some of them come in to have their medications adjusted, just like myself at the moment. I'm going through a palliative care process with the nurses here to look after my medication. And I say to people, it's really worth finding out about this place, because you never really know when you're going to perhaps need it, or a family member's going to need it.
I think the biggest difference is knowing that the help and the support doesn't stop when somebody dies. Deb's picked me up quite quickly as somebody obviously needed a little bit of extra support. It helped to validate my grief in the sense that, I kind of thought, there are people here who are losing their husbands and their wives or their children, and I've lost my mother, and although that's terrible, it is the natural order of things. But I think talking to Deb's, it helped me realise that, do you know what, it's not about who you lose, it's how you're managing to deal with it yourself. See, it's just the extra support, and knowing that I could phone her and talk if need be, and just knowing that she would listen.
I had some fantastic help with the physiotherapy team here. The centre here was always willing to help.